afford to snooze and lose. If you lose 10% of what's in your nest egg in 90 days, you are going to need to make 11% using compound interest to just break even and be back where you were 90 days ago. If we're still in this war, if the market is still doing what it's doing right now, you're not going to recover for a long time. We can make more money, but we can't make time back. Once time is gone, time is gone. Hello. My name is Dr. Terri Alford. I am known as the Women's Wealth Strategist, and I specialize in helping business owners build wealth and financial freedom so that we can live, lead, and leave multi-million-dollar legacies. And on tonight, we are going to speak about, if you wait and see, that means that you may wait and lose if you snooze, okay? And so the reason I'm talking about this is because at the time of this video, it is April 1st, 2026. April is known as Financial Literacy Month. So happy Financial Literacy Month. And this is also the time in which people say, oh my goodness, it's the second quarter. What worked well in the first quarter? What do I need to do more of in the second quarter? What do I need to do less of in the second quarter? Well, if you've been watching the money, if you've been watching the market, if you have not been sleeping under a rock, you may know that the S&P 500 has said that it has had its worst quarter since 2022. There has not been a time as bad since 2022 in the S&P. And if you think about it, 2022 was 4 years ago. So if you are getting ready to retire or go full-time in your business, you definitely want to listen up, because this message is really, really for you. Because the thing about it is losses happen fast. The market has declined roughly 7 to 8% in just a few weeks. Now, if you have time to play in the market and recover, then, and you have let me just say, if you have patience to wait, you wait. But if you don't have the patience to wait, and you know that you do not have time to play or time to lose, then you know what? It may be time for you to make a move. And if you don't make a move and you find yourself snoozing, then you are going to find yourself losing, because that's bars. Losses happen fast, but recovery tends to happen slowly. Okay, so a lot of people who are not really financially savvy and they sign up for, these different plans and products, they just know they have something working for them. And I'm not telling you to take all of your money out of the market. That's not what I'm telling you to do. But what I am telling you is to move your money to safety during this time. Because let's say if your nest egg drops 10% within, let's say, 20 to 30 days, it could take months in order for you to recover. It may take you even years, because if we think back to 2008, people lost money in weeks, in days, in months. I mean, they were looking and they were hoping that it was going to get better, and it was a long time before it got better. So what you may lose in days and weeks, it may take you years to rebuild. And if you don't have years to rebuild, then it's time for you to make a move. Now, shameless plug, you are able to book what I consider to be a Retire Wealthy consultation, and it is free. It costs you $0.00 for us to talk about where you are financially, where you want to be financially, and if it's time for you to make some money moves. Your money moves may be into a fixed indexed annuity. Your money move may be moving your money from the current allocations to the fixed rate. But I'm telling you, it is a free consultation, and I encourage you to make that move. Now, you don't know what may happen in the future. We don't know if the market is going to get better in months. We don't know if the market is going to get better in days. We don't know if the market is going to get better in years. You don't know, for those of you who are dualpreneurs and you have a job and you have a business, you don't know if you're going to have a job tomorrow. Let me be real. At the time of this recording of this video, just a day ago, 30,000 people opened up their emails and found out that they no longer had a job with a company called Oracle. They had a job last week. This week, they don't have a job. And the company just sent an email, simply, no job. So now these people are looking for work. They got to figure out what to do with their retirement funds. And I know some of them are probably going to use some of those retirement funds until they find another job. Some of the people were thinking about building their business or was working with a side hustle that now may become their main source of income until they get a job. The future is unpredictable. We're in a war. The future is unpredictable. So now, right now is the time for you to plan for the unexpected. So again, if you have not had your Retire Wealthy consultation, I highly recommend that you book one. You can use a link that is in the comment section below. Look, Johnny, I see your comment, Johnny. Thank you. Johnny says snoozing and losing. This is not the time to snooze and lose. You can snooze and lose if you want to. Y'all remember 2008? I remember 2008. Now, 2008 was the year I graduated. That's what we used to say when I was in high school, because I was 18. And I remember being 18 and so many things were happening in 2008. So many people did not recover, or it took them a long time to get their accounts to where they could have been before the crash of 2008. You have to ask yourself, if it takes you 5 years to get your account back to where it is now because you are snoozing and losing, can you afford that? That's what you have to ask yourself. Can you afford to snooze and lose? If you lose 10% of what's in your nest egg in 90 days, you are going to need to make 11% using compound interest to just break even and be back where you were 90 days ago. If we're still in this war, if the market is still doing what it's doing right now, you're not going to recover for a long time. We can make more money, but we can't make time back. Once time is gone, time is gone. So the deeper the decline, the longer it's going to take for you to recover. So again, at this time, you have to ask yourself, how long do you want to snooze and lose? I just met with one of my clients. She's amazing. She was like, look, I just need to move this money to safety for about 5 years. We're going to see what happens within the next 5 years. I think I'm going to have another job in the next 5 years. I got business aspirations and so forth. But just put this money right here in a space where I know I won't lose a dime no matter what happens in the market. And I know that I am protecting my principal and I have the potential to earn money without losing a dime. Can you put my money here? So we did an application for that. And she's happy. It was 5 years. She said that'll give me enough time to figure out what I want to do. But at least I know I'm not losing anymore. Because she was like, I've lost thousands of dollars since the last time we talked. Y'all, we talked last week. She lost over $5,000 in 30 days. And she was like, yeah, no, I ain't got time to play with that. I'm not going to name the company. I was about to name the company. She was like, they're not about to let me lose more money at this time. I am going to protect my money. Go ahead, do the application. Y'all, I did the application with her this evening, and this was our second appointment. So we had our first appointment last week. And when we got on the second appointment, she was like, we didn't even have to have a second appointment. I was like, okay, so since the last time we talked, this is what you said. Here are your options. She was like, I already know what I want to do. I'm ready to go. Let's roll. So if you snooze and lose, it's going to be on you. But if you know for a fact that you are feeling like this may feel a little bit like 2008, this may feel a little bit like 2020, where you start seeing the money that you work so hard for and you work hard to save in your 401k, your TSP, your IRA. You work so hard to save that money and you're starting to see it just drop every day, then this is a good time to move it. This is a good time to move it because, again, the future is unexpected. And the average correction is about 13 to 15%. But how much time do you have? So it's not about fear. I'm not here to invoke fear in you. I'm asking you, what is your position? Do you know your position? Do you also know how much you can afford to lose? Now, some of you may say, well, shoot, I got time. If you feel like you got time and you can afford to lose it, then fine. But if you don't think you can afford to lose 10 to 20% and it take you years to recover, then we need to have a conversation. We need to have a consultation. Because again, it's about timing. Me and my client and I were talking tonight, and I was telling her I was thinking about Ecclesiastes, right? And the Bible says there's a time for everything, right? There's a time to live, there's a time to die. There's a time for everything under the sun. There's a time to invest, there's a time to move, there's a time to roll over, there's a time to snooze. It didn't say it like that, but I'm gonna add that part. There's a time to roll over, there's a time to snooze, there's a time to chill, there's a time to run. Listen, for those of you who don't know, I am a former educator, so I do have a rhyme or two in me, but I just want to make it clear. I want to make it plain. I'm going to say this again in honor of Financial Literacy Month. This is the time for you to really assess, are you a conservative investor? Are you a moderate investor? Are you an aggressive investor? If you're an aggressive investor, and this is the time where you're like, oh my gosh, let me go ahead and put all this money in the market. Let me go ahead and buy stocks and invest. You go ahead and do that to the point that you're not going to invest more than you can afford to lose right now. But some of you need to make sure that even though you may be investing in the market and you may be like, oh, this is a great time to buy, you need to make sure that the money that you already have invested in your nest egg is safe. If you are looking to retire within the next 3 to 5 years, how will you feel if you lose 15% of what's in your account? If you got 100,000, that's 15,000. How will you feel if you lose $15,000 out of your retirement account this year? That's 15%. How would you feel? Let's say you got 3 times that. 15 times 3 is 45. How would you feel losing $45,000 over the next 3 years? Because you snooze and you lose. You snooze and you lost. How can I make that rhyme? Right? How would you feel? That's what you have to ask yourself. If you feel that you have 10, 25, 30 years to recover, do what you do. But tonight, I want to let you know that some of you who are going to wait and see, you're choosing to wait and lose if you snooze. You need to know your risk tolerance. Are you a conservative investor? If you are a conservative investor, you like, Terri, I don't want to lose a dime, or no, I can lose 2,000, but I bet not lose 20,000. We need to have a conversation. I can lose 2,000, but I bet not lose 200,000. We need to have a conversation. And if you're at a point where you're like, you know what, I think I'm okay, but I'm thinking about my mom right now. I'm thinking about my uncle right now. I'm thinking about my auntie right now. I'm thinking about my dad right now, who's getting ready to retire within the next 3 to 5 years. And we need to have a conversation. You have a conversation, you book a consultation, because even if you are good, if your parents, if your grandparents don't have a solid retirement plan, you may become their supplemental retirement plan. You just may be. So if you find yourself listening to this, and again, you're like, well, I'm a millennial, I got time. I'm Generation X, I got time. I'm not a baby boomer. Check on your parents. Check on the generation before you. If you've been watching me and you've been listening to me for some time, you know I love speaking about helping our children have money for school, their first job, and enough money so they can make decisions early and when they want to retire and retire wealthy. And I was even talking tonight about a client of mine who's going to have over $212,000 when she turns 21. I was talking about how excited I am for that little girl. She's 4 now. We had dinner over the weekend. Like, I love being able to do that for the children and their future. And when we speak about generational wealth, a lot of times we do focus on the children, but we forget to focus on the generations that are right ahead of us, right before us. So baby boomers, this is for you. Those of you who have loved ones that are baby boomers that are close to you, this is for you. Millennials, this is for you. This is for you. This is for you. Wait and snooze may mean wait and lose if you snooze. Wait and see, and seeing what the end is going to be like at the end of this year, you are going to have to look back and ask yourself, did I make the right decision? And the beautiful thing is, sometimes people will say, well, if you put your money into a fixed index annuity, you don't have access to it. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Like Shanae would say, no, that's not correct. Annuities have liquidity, liquidity, and the way it's structured can help you have more liquidity. There are some riders that you can put on annuities where you could get access to 10%, 20%, 30% with no penalties. If you are working on a job right now, you may actually be able to move some of that money by doing what is called an in-service distribution. You just need to ask the right questions to the right people. But it's important you have a financial dream team this year and don't try to do everything on your own. You need a financial dream team. You need a financial dream team that includes a financial consultant, a tax strategist. You need attorneys on your side. You need an accountant. You need a CPA. Some of you need a credit repair specialist. You may need a loan officer if you're ready to get a home. You need a financial dream team. If you're growing your business or your business is growing faster than you can work it and build it, you may need more capital. You need a business banker on your financial dream team. You need an estate planning attorney on your financial dream team. Stop waiting. This is not the year of procrastination. Procrastination is of the devil. Procrastination will not work in your favor. Can I get an amen? Procrastination is of the devil, and it is not going to work in your favor. For those of you who were at my Attract Abundance conference, or you heard about the Attract Abundance conference last year, one of the things we did was we spoke about what are the things we need to remove from our plate in order to attract what we need in this season so that we can attract more abundance and retire wealthy. We need to remove some things from our plate. And so we had different words on the plate. And one of the things that we didn't, or did we? No, I don't. Yes, we did. We did have it on a plate. I think we did have that word on the plate, and it was procrastination. Procrastination needs to be moved off of your plate. Stop playing around. Stop waiting. If you know you've been needing to talk to me, or you know you've been needing to talk to somebody else who's going to be a part of your financial dream team, stop procrastinating. It is April at the recording of this video. It's April 2026. Before you know it, it's going to be the third quarter, and then it's going to be the fourth quarter, and then you're going to be looking up at the end of the year saying, dang, I still need to get life insurance. Dang, I still need to start a retirement account. Dang, I still need to start a brokerage account. Dang, I still need to go after my financial dreams and goals. Dang, I still need to save 3 to 6 months worth of funds. You see those 30,000 people that got that email from Oracle that they lost their job? Of those 30,000 people, I don't think half of them have 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses saved. And you may say, Terri, how dare you say that? You don't know about those 30,000 people. What I do know is most people in America do not have $5,000 in their savings accounts. I know that. I know that. Stop procrastinating. If you know that you spend money more than you save money, this is the time to get the budget. This is the time to set up your bank account so that you have money. Every time money hits your checking account, money automatically goes into a savings account that you don't have access to. Stop procrastinating, because time is something you can't get back. Can't get back time. Once it's gone, it's gone. So stop procrastinating and make your move. Again, my name is Dr. Terri Alford. I thank you for watching this video. My name is Dr. Terri Alford. I'm known as the Women's Wealth Strategist. And since I made a mention of it, the Attract Abundance Conference tickets are on sale. I am a conference host. I am the owner of TNA Financial Group. And I encourage you to stay connected, I encourage you to subscribe to the Attract Abundance and Retire Wealthy podcast. I encourage you to get your ultra early bird tickets to the Attract Abundance conference, because not only are we going to focus on attracting abundance and retiring wealthy, but we are going to speak about moving millions of dollars and making an impact so that we can move millions of people. Why use our influence for one thing and not another? Why not use our influence to be able to impact and influence millions of people who we have been called to serve in this season for such a time as this? So again, I thank you very much for watching this. You can go to attractabundanceconference.com to secure your seat. The conference is going to be October 23rd through the 25th, 2026 in Frisco, Texas. And we are going to have a party on Saturday night, and we call the party the gala. So make sure you get your tickets to the conference. If you get your tickets to the conference, you automatically have a ticket to the gala. And if you like what I talked about here, continue to watch, because for the month of April, I'm going live every day. I'm going live every day in honor of Financial Literacy Month. So if you have questions and you don't want to put it in the comment section, you can always send me a text at 903-224-6151. 903-224-6151. And if I'm not available at that time, my team is available at that time, and we will make sure we get you booked, and we will make sure to get your answers answered. Thank you for watching, and I hope you all have an amazing and an abundant rest of the evening. Adios.